Smooth, I'm Lies.
And I'm Scandal.
And let's play a game together!
Ooh.
So I was listening to the wonderful, glorious piano music for the intro here, and I was just thinking, was any of this music composed just for this game? And I'm curious, because I don't know, because we haven't gotten to the credits yet, if there are indeed credits in this game.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we already did this part.
We-
Did it jump us back again?
How far back did it take us? But the real
Yeah, it's up ahead, yeah, because we did that.
I'm not gonna sure purpose is dangerous, blah, blah, blah. So apologize, guys. We
Yeah.
sometimes stop in the middle because I go, ooh, look, there's a question that we have to have an answer to. And now we're gonna stop because it's more interesting that way.
Well, and because also it's a good length for the episode.
Right.
So it's like, we've already done this one.
No, we didn't. This is the one we stopped about.
Oh, I Care About You Too, It's My Life. Right, that was the one where I was analyzing what are we saying. Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it doesn't save, but we've just noticed that it really doesn't do that. Like, I think it saves at every question, so if you answer a question, but anyway, sometimes it saves right where we are in the dialogue and sometimes not. But anyway, welcome. Lovely to have you.
Yes, quite. We clearly haven't thought about this question actually since we put it down.
I didn't. We did other things, and I went, this question. So I don't know the tone of either of these answers, because if he's going, I don't want you to die and be in danger, I'm going, I care about you too, going, thanks, I care about you too. Or if it's
I care about you, but it's also my life, and I get to choose what I'm going to do with it, kind of thing.
Honestly, I'd love to say both. All the time they put up a one or the other, and I just want to say
these
both.
are not mutually exclusive.
Like, they're
my
really
dudes, my homies,
not.
my bros.
So I'm just going to say it's my life, because it really is, and I get to choose for it. He really doesn't. I don't know what that means, but we'll see. It's my life.
I know that. I wouldn't, I didn't mean to.
Julian stumbles over his words.
The thing is you do that all the time. You have taken away so much, basically, from us as a character this entire time, as far as I can tell, going, well, I'm going to direct you, I have all this thing, and I know what's best, and then it's
you choose for us impulsively. Even when you're trying to share things, you don't invite us in to share, you just do things and then expect us to participate.
And going what we also though have been trying to do this whole playthrough is basically trying to insist on an equal partnership, whatever that looks like, regardless of the fact of, like, if you want to argue that Julian is a submissive in the sense of the BDSM world, which some people have argued apparently,
a couple of people have
and some people have said,
not just one.
No, I know, and I'm saying that
I'm telling them.
Oh,
not
yeah,
just
absolutely.
one.
And I'm not kidding, like, truly. Like, for the little bit, so since I'm the one who knows more about this game, for the bits that I know, I am also aware of the fact that it was a thing that was basically brought out by the devs on their own, too, of going that he is supposed to be what is considered to be a submissive in the BDSM sense. However, as far as I have ever seen, I'm going to argue with him and go, I don't think you know exactly, because the way that you've ever written this character, he seemed to, whatever, that's an entirely different discussion, honestly, but it's going like, for us going, like, even in that sort of situation, you can have a partnership of equals. And the thing is that he also, if you're even going to go, well, he's a submissive, he's incredibly controlling. Like, and most submissives, hilariously enough, if you know anything about the community, are actually
very controlling.
Sometimes incredibly damn controlling, because you're the one who has the most power in the relationship, because let's say you get into a play scenario, right? And the other individual is like, I'm going to perform things to you, but they only perform them as long as you allow them to. So you're the one that if you say enough is enough, the other person has to stop, or it instantly becomes assault or rape. So this is a very deep, complex thing, but going like, he's the one who has the most power, which completely then would fit in with him in this case.
Like my friend, you have so many opinions
this
morning. Hi.
It's great. Okay. You're the one who usually talks, but you know what, it's my turn now.
It's fine, you can have it. I was just like, wow, it has come out.
See, now I'm being like, shat on. You see what I work with?
I see, you have to work with it. I have to work with it. It's Nerd's job to shit on him all the time. Where he's like,
true.
Yeah, it's good things. And it's like, hey, what about this thing? And he just freezes and falls over. And
right?
It's
no, it's true. And again, like, I will make the argument that he's not really necessarily like that. That's a little bit too clear-cut, clean-cut, and also would be doing the world a disservice, and it doesn't really exist.
And I, or he and the main character, change depending on what choices we choose, and then it implies that other things happened or that you've been a different person, which doesn't work well for me, because when I roleplay and I choose things where my character does actions, it's because that's who they are, not because they're becoming someone new through choice.
Right?
I don't know. Anyway, he trembles over his words and trails off.
Let me try that again. It's your life, and whatever you decide that's up to you. I wouldn't want to take that from you. I'm just sort of super paranoid that basically you're going to make the wrong decision and you're going to die, and I'll be very sad and unhappy, and it's going like, I care about you. and I want to be able to stop pain from coming your way. That's very important to me because I don't like people that I care about in seeing them in pain, you know? It's
So
like
all of those things are really good and valid, and what I would say is, if we don't get through this, I'm dead anyway. But that dichotomy you presented of like, I feel like I'm making the wrong choices and it might cause pain. I feel like that whole game is like this, if we're going to get meta for a moment.
right. There's also that thing though too anyway where he's like, no, but I want pain. I'm like, you need to realize right now, at least for me, I'm like, Julian, you saw, right? You saw that the body disappeared.
Like that
Nerd's body is gone.
It doesn't exist.
So Nerd is non-existent.
Yes.
So I don't want you to get hurt. Too late. I can't even exist.
Unless we do something else. Oh, the trial you have to go through. Oh, sweetie. You know, the trial.
Oh, sweetie, honey.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and he's like, no, it's dangerous. I'm dead anyway. Or I have no body and I exist in an ethereal form, which is as good as dead for most interpretations.
Because you cannot interact with the things that you are saying are important.
Yeah, you can't protect me or get me back unless we do this. And you have to know that by now, because that's the whole reason we're here. You don't know that I will get hurt. And technically, I've already been hurt. And even if I do, would it be your fault that I made that choice?
Like, you can care, but there's that thing, too, of being, like, letting people sort of have their own agency. If we are all about having free will and making choices,
people need to be able to choose for themselves.
You can make more informed decisions, but that's very different than grabbing someone's hand and forcing them to do something.
And
like,
you can't
I love that argument that people make, though, too, of going, like, oh, well, you know, I had to do it anyway. No, you actually didn't.
I had to save them from themselves. You didn't have to.
Nobody was grabbing you and ramming you into a wall, physically puppeteering you to force that action out of you. The fact is, so many people basically play victim. It's actually bothering. It bothers me. I do it too. Of the thing of where you're just like, well, I just don't have any choice because it hurts, and you're so afraid of basically making, air quotey, the wrong choice.
Yeah.
When you don't even have all the answers or have all the information, you're assuming that somewhere out there, the right answer exists.
And let me tell you, people, based on my understanding of everything, limited as it is to one person and one mind, there is no the right choice because there is no the universal truth. What there is choices that make you happy of what you've done, who you are, and what your life is, and that make you proud of your decisions in the time being, or that get you through what you need to get through. And those are the right choice for you, not because they are universally right, but because you are proud of or happy with those choices, and or they served you in a way that is appropriate for you. And if there is ever fear of what do I choose, what's the right choice, whether the right choice is a restaurant for the party you are concerned with, or whether the right choice is should I take this job or not, or something bigger and heavier, it's really about what is right for you. And you don't always know what's right for you because you haven't experienced it yet. In the same way that informed consent is something that is incredibly hard to do because it's hard to be informed about something until you've done it. Whether it's joining the military or having a baby or doing something consensual between, individuals. That you can't really consent in an informed fashion unless you know what's in front of you. The best you can do is say, I choose this because based on my current information, this is what's right for me or best for me.
But the thing
is, it can be best for you in all of those ways, in your consideration of other people's feelings and your own.
And the thing is every single day, regardless of how you look at it, you really are always making a choice. Well, I didn't choose because I chose because I sat here. I didn't do anything. You're making a choice. You're making a choice to do nothing. And that's very difficult. And I know a lot of people are afraid by that, of like very afraid of that concept of like that you are actually infinitely powerful in that sense of going, you can make a ton of choices. You can make a decision to change your life. You can make a decision to do something. Now, there are some things that obviously you go, well, that particular aspect is out of my control, but how I choose to interact with it, how I choose to, ask for help or go to different sources, to Google it, to go and seek out other minds.
Ask an expert.
Look for other information. Those things are under your control in a lot of ways. Maybe I'm being kind of ableistic. I don't know. Like, again, this is based off of purely our experience, but the thing is I feel like a lot of people basically shoot themselves in the foot because it is easier to shoot yourself in the foot and make that choice than it is to make the choice of potentially being vulnerable, being known, and being, air quotey, wrong.
So a lot of times people will choose what they know the answer is. The thing they can informed consent to, even if it is a dangerous thing. We got an airplane
Hello,
outside.
airplane!
Don't know if you can hear it, but there it is.
Oh, whoa.
So like that shoot yourself in the foot reference is really about going, I know that if I choose this thing that will hurt me, I at least know exactly what that hurt will feel like.
Right.
I know exactly what will happen if I stay in this relationship, if I do this action, if I keep this job, whatever it is. And even if I don't want that, I know what it is, and the other option is unknown.
You're very comfortable basically with an idea of like, it's the nail. You like sitting on your nail. Your nail is, you're used to that sort of thing. But you have to decide at what point you're going to say that the nail hurts too much, I need to be done.
And you might not know what it'll look like to get off it, or that if there might be something sharper nearby, but that's how you learn and make new choices.
No.
I think I know what the star was getting at by showing us all those images. I have faith, Julian, in the end, in me, and in everyone else.
And you're telling him to have faith, not I have faith.
Oh, have faith, sorry. Have faith, Julian. I look at you. Sorry, have faith, Julian.
I can't read my lines. Prompter!
Excuse me. I need to do that line again. Sorry.
Try again.
In me and in everyone else. Though I am going as a player, every one of those scenes was you not having faith in me. So maybe that is the parallel they were trying.
Maybe, or it's just the fact of him going like, yeah, you have resisted everyone your entire life. See where it's gotten you.
And you were resisting me, and this is where it's gotten you.
However, in some ways, that is still, though, his choice to make.
Oh,
so
it
I'm
is.
like, that's incredibly, like...
He doesn't have to have faith in us. He just needs to not stop us.
So in the sense of, like, one of the biggest criticisms I had for this is a forced contrived situation where Julian and I cannot walk away from each other. Our characters cannot be parted. The game will not allow this to happen. So in this sense, this is a completely unrealistic, unhealthy, basically, example of a relationship where you actually don't have a lot of options.
You actually have, what is it, like a contrived scenario of like false isolation.
Right. And the thing is that I understand that this is what the game is also like, no, but you'd want to do this, and going, but why?
But if it's our life or not, based on his choices, we should be able to choose for our own life.
No kidding.
Like, you shouldn't, even in the case of you have a partner that you're very close to and you know very well, they shouldn't be choosing for your life. If it comes to the, I will live if I jump off of this sinking ship, and I will not live if I stay here, and you need to choose for me, they don't choose for you. You choose. And that's what this feels like to me.
Yeah.
All right. Julian takes a deep breath and squares his shoulders.
All right, then, let's do this.
Because it's all up to you in the end, but I'm willing to do this. The lighthouse beacon flares brilliantly, the stars blazing to life. The star beams proudly at us.
Wow, would you look at that? You really are stronger together. Looks like you're finally ready.
I mean, he seems to be stronger if he'll trust us, but I don't know if we're both stronger together because I don't know much about myself.
All right.
And I've faced very few challenges.
To face the devil.
Well, I didn't have a sleepover with him last time, so maybe I'll learn more about him this time.
Right?
That's the end of that chapter.
Well, hang on.
All right. Here we are, a dream within a dream.
Gonna dream my dream. Everybody gonna dream my dream.
And I'm just looking up at Julian and going, so, Julian, he's already asked me for a sleepover once, and I've already turned him down. And if he asks me again, it'll be really awkward to turn him down again.
Oh, good. I can totally see that. You have that thing when you're just like, no, I've already said no, and God, man. Now you put me on the spot again, and I hate to embarrass you. I've already said no.
Yeah, and you think circumstances have changed, but we don't know each other any better now than when I said no the first time.
You know, dude, I sort of am a little bit on that down low. Would you like to sort of like hide underneath the bottom of the barrel because, you know, you're sort of a little awkward turtle.
You know, it's too bad that you didn't bring your cloak, because I could just hide under that. All right, Julian gawks at the star in disbelief.
Could you repeat that? I don't think I heard you right.
I think I just hallucinated a little bit this time.
You're ready to face the devil.
The devil?
The devil. Oh, I did hear you right. I'm gonna die. See, the devil's been up to all kinds of mischief. He's been making plans, sneaking around, making deals. Not like the rest of us, because we would never do any of that. Wait.
Nerd, giving you the side eye.
Oh, so he could break down the barriers between your realm and Oz.
Where the rest of us have to have permission and invitation, he's the bad guy. So he just does it.
I feel like in a lot of ways, like, I understand a lot of people go, well, you know, you need a villain. And it's like, your villain also, in a lot of cases, tends to be very personal. Villain, and I say that loosely. Basically, your antagonist And it's like, for me, I'm going, the devil card, I think I remember even when I was younger, most of the time for a lot of people, it'd be like, the devil's really a really heavily misused card.
Okay.
Or misunderstood in that sense.
But, like, since I know nothing about tarot cards,
Right.
really, other than people like them and they're important to some sort of, like, predictive or foreseeing magic, etc., in real life and fantasy, that I just want to be like, what if the Arcana don't know each other well? What if she's telling the truth as far as she believes it? Well, he could just break down these barriers, all sweetie. And what she means is, I just assume that's what he's doing, and she doesn't know that someone else has to compel him as well.
Again,
so she can't lie, but she doesn't know her neighbor very well. In the same way that you could be like, oh, my neighbor's like this, and you don't realize you actually don't understand the situation at all.
Right? And you're just going, that's the truth of your life and your reality. Going, oh, the Arcana can't lie. But to what extent are we talking about lying?
Are they compelled to the truth as it exists, or what they know?
Right?
Again, no universal truth, but the truth as it stands. Can you imagine if you couldn't lie? You'd literally be like, I'm going to try and tell you what the winning lottery numbers are going to be next week, but I can't say them unless I'm not lying.
Right?
And it's not whether or not you have the knowledge, it's whether or not the knowledge is true.
Right?
I mean, like, that would be a power. I say, all right, what's your superhero power? All right, here we go.
Telling lies? Oh,
all
God.
right.
And if that happens, well, it won't be pretty, and it's up to you to stop it for some damn reason. Why the rest of us Arcana can't do anything about another member of our own realm? You know, I don't understand. It's just like, it's only people, though, who are completely misinformed. What?
Miss Star, it seems like that you guys don't really associate with each other at all, and you're very isolated in your own spaces, and only connected artificially by Astra's idea of, what he wants in his deck. So you should be all right.
Well, we really didn't know each other very well until, Astra came bouncing around when he was doing that solitaire thing. Yeah. It was very interesting. At that time, I got to meet the weirdest people.
And I bet you suddenly have a bunch of neighbors that you were completely unaware of before.
It was very strange.
What do you think of their fashion sense?
Oh, God.
Sorry, that's probably a conversation for another day. What was that, Julian?
Us? Specifically. Why?
I think that's probably because of Lucio. And his thing where he bargained with us, but he doesn't own us. Because apparently if you're bargaining with the devil, you can use chips that you don't possess.
And also offer a deal that you never really offered, because there was no deal involved at all. A deal for
Has
what?
he told you about the deal? Yeah, except for he hasn't told us what the deal
pertains to.
There is a deal, not about the deal.
Yeah, I still don't. I think you already know the answer, don't you?
I really do. I'm like, it's Miss Kitty.
Nord, you're the key to this. You're the only one who can stop the devil.
Is that because I died?
Well, you can't do it alone. You're gonna need help.
The star looks meaningfully at Julian. The lighthouse looks meaningfully at Julian. Ooh. The infinite of the stars. Ooh.
Julian, I'm blind. Falls over. My eyes.
And then he straightens up.
And I got it. My eyes are closed this time. Actually, I grabbed out both of my little tiny eye patches and I stuck them in my eyes and go, I'm cool.
One over each eye.
Julian, you're facing the wrong direction. Oh, sorry, I'm cool.
Turns around. Okay. Julian looks at the wrong end of the room. All right, Miss Star, go ahead.
All right, go ahead. Oh, and don't you see that boy? He's very strange. Well then, I guess I cannot saving the world to my to-do list, eh?
It's not the whole world. It's just Vesuvia, but sure.
Well, Vesuvia is the whole world. Anyway.
But remember, Prakra exists.
Oh, shit.
And what about where you came from, which I can't remember right now?
I'm also like, again, what's going to happen if the devil gets more involved? It sounds like that's basically a deal that Lucio wanted. I'm not understanding the boundaries of this deal at all
not
and
at all.
what happened, so I don't know
Nothing.
It's fine.
Saving the world. I think it's just really saving Vesuvia.
You can count on me, nerd. Always.
From now on? So I will have to say in this moment that while I believe you mean that patterns of behavior, they don't usually change in one space of resolution. It usually takes a lot of practice and recognition. And my dear Julian, while you have said this a couple of times throughout here, in various ways or another, that you trust me or want to work with me, you continue to undermine that. So just as you move forward from here, recognize when you do the behavior and try and choose in each individual moment that you will probably make mistakes. But if this is what you want, you can choose it after you fail.
Right.
I support you.
I get more call-outs, it's fine. Your powers need developing. You've begun to tap into them a little, but you still need practice.
Well,
and we have infinite amount of time, apparently, in the world of the Arcana. But you know...
It's okay. In a couple of seconds, we'll be offered a paid choice to make out in your tower. I mean, do something romantic here, which would waste more time. So, it's okay.
Sigh. And the best place to practice is a personal gateway. You know a bit about that, don't you?
Only a little bit. I think back. Didn't Astra mention
Oh,
something like that
God!
once?
Mention.
Everything that I ever learned from Astra is him casually mentioning it offhand one time. God, I am a really observant person.
Like, damn.
Holy crap. One time when he was talking about other things, he mentioned personal gateways.
Honestly,
Once.
that would be wild. You have this student who's like, I'm so desperate and I am a sponge.
And the
I will
fact that
absorb
you-
everything because I am 3.
Actually,
And
that's
actually,
about
I am
right.
a newborn and going, ooh.
I am so young and my mind is so blank and eager for knowledge and new neural connections and to reestablish the ones I had before I lost my memories. Because those neural connections are still there, but I have to use them again to wake them up. Yeah, that's it. And you know what? Kids learn so freaking fast. I have learned it, and I'm also just like, Astra, I appreciate that you did teach me some things. Why are all the things that are important to this experience something that you didn't teach me that I just noticed you talking about once?
Right.
It's a place magicians can access where they're closest to their own magic. Oh, you mean like an inner palace? Oh.
My inner goddess is reveling. Bingo! Your goddess should be very happy. Everybody's got one, even you, Julian.
What if it's my inner, just deity?
That works too.
All right.
Being there will help you connect more to your own power and learn more about yourself.
Why do I need to learn more about me? Do I get my memories back? Am I going to remember more than 3 years of existence, which I don't even remember all 3 because I didn't have language when I started?
Of course! Yes! Has how it's so personal. I can't tell you how to find it, despite the fact that one of my natures specifically is like guiding star. Why I can't do that is beyond... Anyway, I'm fine. Because we don't ask the Arcana for help. I'm like, this goes so weird in regards to people asking the Arcana for assistance. And then going like, I can't show you. You'll just have... What?
You'll have to... It's that, well, I'd love to tell you the answer, young mentee, as your mentor. But what you need to do is figure it out for yourself. Because even though I know the answer, if I told you, it wouldn't involve the deep, profound learning that might risk your life in the meantime. And instead, it might take me telling you a couple of times for you to get the full context. So just risk your life and see if you sink or swim.
I don't like... Okay.
Every mentor
But if you look
ever.
within yourself, why... you might have a raspy voice. You might realize that you already know the way.
She beams confidently at me with an adorable cat face, and I just go, I don't mean to be like speciesist or anything, but you look so soft and cute in this moment. I adore you.
I really want to pet your nose.
I would love to just touch your soft little whiskered cheeks, and I'm not going to try, and I'm not going to reach out, because I appreciate that sometimes people do that with my hair, etc., but I'm letting you know that I'm thinking it, okay?
Thanks.
She beams confidently at me, and I find myself smiling back. Thank you for everything.
Don't mention it. It's my pleasure. Really?
I get that you're probably better at entertaining yourself than the other Arcana, but you're still probably kind of like bored and irritated with your new neighbors, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
It's all right. Portia's a great girl.
Well, I'm glad we could also contribute to you in some way.
Take care of yourselves, okay? Don't be strangers.
I remember how to get back here. Do you like cat things, or is that just your motif? Could I bring you another toga, maybe? One that's a different color? Just so you have options? I don't know. What do you like?
Right.
If I'm going to visit, I want to bring gifts.
Ooh.
The door at the base of the lighthouse opens into a snowy forest.
Now this
The
is
ocean,
about us.
The docked boat and Scout are nowhere to be seen. Now, is it about us, or is it about Julian and I, us? Or
But it's at
myself,
your
us?
gateway. We need to go
Yeah,
to
it's me.
Nerd's Gateway.
So we're going to learn about our own nerd's own history. That'd be
Finally,
cool.
that would be great.
Shivering, Julian buttons up his shirt and coat. Finally! You got undressed in the vortex, and now you're going to dress again. Fluffing his collar to block out the chill.
He takes his lapels and poof,
He just sticks his hands up there and just wraps the little feathers around his neck.
shrinks.
Shrinks
Tuck,
down
tuck,
and
tuck, tuck,
turtles down into his in the neck piece. Huh.
I suppose this place doesn't need to follow the rules of geography, does it?
I know it doesn't often snow next to the sea in a lot of places, but you can have snow and sea. That's what the Arctic, poles are.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's fairly common.
Yeah, like
damn.
when you get to the ends of the... Oh, I don't know the world's a sphere, do I? Never mind. I don't know what kind of geography we've got. It's fine.
It's fine. But sort of nostalgic. Reminds me of the months I spent in the south.
All right, so...
Are we going through your stuff again? There's nothing like running around with friends after a fresh snowfall. Yeah, I have. No. He's like, I'm sorry, it's cold. My tongue is starting to go. Okay, I don't know if you've ever actually been that person, but it's like if you ever get cold enough and your tongue and your lips start going kind of numb, and you're just like,
I can't have
and it's not like it hurts. It's just sort of like stuff is sort of going. I'm sluggish and.
I don't know that I've had that one, but I think I can relate to it, given that I've seen it happen to people.
Great. One time we built a snow fort as big as the Vesuvian Palace with bullshit, with snowmen to serve as guards. Of course.
Okay.
Because, you know, they're just strawmen, and they're not actually characters.
Right.
So it's supposed to be a winky wink wonk wonk.
Because those guards were just as effective and present as the real ones we have right now.
Exactly.
Ah, yes.
Somewhere, Nadia, I'm going to kill that man.
Nadia, I should have hung him when I hung him. Damn it.
If he wasn't so hung already.
I should have murdered him when I had the chance. Right after I executed him.
And slowly murdered him again.
Damn it.
And then brought him back to life and then killed him again.
And then killed him again. And then
you know what, Valdemar, have fun.
You know what? I'm ending to watch this. He's a bitch.
Uh-huh.
Damn it. I'm just like, okay, so you sound like you're building the Winter Wonderland in Harbin, China, which is the one place I've ever been in the world out of the US. Like, it's funny, because I've realized there's this weird class thing. If you say you've been out of the country once, you go, oh yeah, when I went to China, people immediately assume that you guys had a much more glamorous lifestyle than them. But I literally had a friend who was in China teaching English there at the time, and I went and stayed with him for a week, and it was super cool. But he was in Harbin, China, where they have a famous snow and ice festival, and it's really, really pretty. And they do build giant palaces and castles and hotels and things cut from blocks of ice and snow, and it's really pretty.
Right.
But that is what this sounds like.
Yes.
But with less lights.
Well, way less lights, actually.
Also going,
and
how many people did it take to do that? We just did this. Were you snow engineers? Were you ice engineers?
I mean,
damn, you're exaggerating because you're Julian, so I know you're exaggerating.
He's totally.
It's fine. He chuckles, smiling wistfully at the pristine white landscape. So how much of that was an exaggeration?
It's not exaggerated. It's the absolute truth.
Were you like...
with a couple little additions because I'm great.
Were you like maybe 9 and you crawled in instead of walked in?
No, not at all. I have a great time. Okay. I'm magnificent at snow castles.
That's good.
Those were the days. Hey, what's that? It's Brundle! No.
He points, and I turn around to look, wondering what got his attention.
Thank you for flinging hair all over the screen.
I don't see anything. A snowball hits me in the shoulder, scattering snow all over my back. I yelp and whip around to see Julian doubled over with laughter. Ah! You dork.
Monkey! Gotcha!
Now your hands are gonna get cold because those aren't winter gloves.
Oh, if I get excited enough, I won't care!
Julian!
Sorry, not sorry! Couldn't resist! Please, before
you get so casual when you're uncomfortable!
Actually, I mean, at least he's more, like, happy? I don't know.
He got really happy with the damn jellyfish and manta rays, too.
True.
So, you know, if we're establishing his character, he's still behaving the same as when he was running away and avoiding
This
stuff.
is hard, then, to take...
But now, he's running away and avoiding our journey, which he has to come with us for, according to the star.
So are you saying...
he just agreed not to do that.
Oh, that's true.
That is, you just literally agreed not to do this, and your behavior hasn't changed.
Well, he hasn't actually technically run away. That's me.
No,
so
I
him
know.
just being slightly playful, you can be like, I got some snow and I papped it on top
I know.
of you.
I'm just like, he threw a snowball at us.
If you want to tell me off, well, let's have a snowball fight. Winner takes all, eh?
So we are going to be wasting time. From the look on his face, I can guess what kind of prize he's thinking of. See? He is trying to waste time and misdirect us from our purpose. He's not caring about the fact that both of our lives are in mortal danger. He's like, let's hang out and play. That doesn't make any sense.
Cannot.
He hasn't changed at all. The agreement we just made in the tower doesn't feel like it stands in any way. Of going, I will trust you, I will help you, I will work with you.
I'm not feeling it.
To connect at all to the fact that we're in mortal danger. I'm gonna let it go. I don't care the fact this could be funny and cute. In this emotional context, it is not. If you have a fire in a building and someone's like, oh my god, you remember that super soaker fight we wanted to do? Let's actually do it now. Not talk about it and make a joke on the way to escape.
La renderage. Let it go.
Let it go. I'm gonna let it go. Oh my god. I shake my head, not taking the bait. Julian? Really? Maybe some other time, Julian. Do you realize Have you really still not connected to the gravity of our situation, even as you just professed that you wanted to protect me?
I'll hold you to that, nerd. I'm glad, I guess, in some way you don't get offended, but I honestly, like, for me, I'm bothered. Again, that thing I mentioned, going, this is a very contrived, you are isolated, you must be together no matter what happens in the game.
I'm glad that Nerd doesn't get offended, but I'm surprised they don't get hurt, going, it doesn't sound like you're trying to take care of me or help me at all. And it's very strange.
Well,
and
you
again,
know, he's the fun-loving one. I'm like, I don't...
Fun-loving people can still be incredibly responsible.
Serious, yeah.
I have worked with people who are incredibly playful in the right context. And when things get serious, they're very thoughtful and helpful and sensitive.
Yeah.
And they don't go, well, let's just play and ignore it. Now, they might try and lighten the mood, as you've mentioned before, with things that fit into the appropriate gravity of the situation. We're hanging off the side of the building, and while we're still pulling ourselves up, I might crack a joke to lighten the tone, but I'm not going to say, let's hang here instead and play, chicken.
Right?
Like, there's a big difference.
That's sort of what it's starting to feel like. It's fine.
That's what it's feeling to me. I'm sorry that you have to play a character that you suddenly can't relate to at all. I apologize. You still sound great.
Yeah! Now, about this gateway of yours, any leads?
You care about it now?
It's fine. Just keep going.
All right, I'll keep going. I know. I'm just like, really? The star said I needed to look within myself to find the way. When I call up my magic, it suffuses my body with familiar warmth. Somewhere, in the distance, I can feel something resonating with me.
Wow, this is so easy for us. Sorry, I'm like, for the little bit, I cannot attach much to the magic in this because this is so abstract and so soft. So it's what's termed for it by some people who deal with fantasy genres will go, it's a soft magic system versus a hard magic system.
It doesn't have rules.
It has no rules whatsoever. You cannot basically repeat this very well. It's very arbitrary, except for the fact that also the nerd themselves says that you can. You just try stuff in a very specific pattern, and then sometimes it works for some people, like medication sometimes does, and other times it doesn't work for some people when you're performing at least that magic on some people. And I'm like, okay, but that's still, though, within a realm of, like, your hard magic rule system, what that would be.
Yeah.
This is so soft, this is actually kind of irritating for me as a reader, basically.
There's no connection to what gravity any of this has. Recently we reviewed a book on our book review channel where we went, the world building had no continuity to it all, no connection, no reliability, no predictability in any way. And it is, actually. The book's called Shiver, and it happens in a space where cold is the problem. The thing you worry about sometimes when it's convenient.
Right.
But, when it's there, convenient to drama. So anyway, and so it has such a soft system of rules that you can't connect to the emotional or gravitational weight of things.
Right.
So in this case, I don't know what does allow or doesn't allow us to do magic, what will help or hinder us, what our process or our growth is, so it's very hard to emotionally connect to it. I'm going to go just a little bit further and then we'll...
Yeah, no, it's fine. I wasn't going to say stop,
That must be it. I can feel it. That way. I point into the distance, towards a mountain range.
Lead the way, nerd! Gateway, here we come!
Our course decided, we set off. The wintry forest is almost silent, save for the sound of our footsteps crunching in the snow. It doesn't feel like we've been walking for long when we emerge on the shore of a frozen lake. The icy surface is broken by the whorls and spikes of massive waves, frozen in mid-break. That is an impressive lake.
That is super pretty.
That sounds gorgeous. The woods to either side are impassably dense. The only way forward is over the ice.
You're kidding. Those are definitely not natural trees, because if anybody knows anything about trees, they actually tend to grow in a very specific way.
They need root space and trunk space. They also need branch space, and some of them even have crown shyness, where the tops of their branches will not actually touch together, and they actually have space up on their leaves and branches as well. And they create really cool little patterns of just a tiny bit of space between one crown and the other.
And it's super neat. Let's see, here, use this to test the ice before you step onto it.
You? Oh, he hands me a fallen branch.
Are you calling me a stick?
No, I was just going to say I could use you to test the ice, and if you fall in, I won't go there.
You... Alright, now I'm going to really dump snow down your back because you're a little brat.
I was just going to say, if you're going to be inappropriately playful, so can I. But I'm just going to do it verbally. And be superior.
I'm going to dunk you.
You probably should. Fairly straight and sturdy enough to lean on, and picks another for himself. But, we have this impassable forest. Okay, at some point, if the trees are not like a brick wall of like Minecraft cubes, we could really just like chimney our way up between them and walk between the spaces in the crowns where they're so close, but they eventually terminate into some kind of branching openness.
Right?
That would be an amazing trip.
Honestly, that would be really cool. Like, well, we have to do this. Well, why not like climb up the wall where it's got branches hanging out and you could get up there?
There have to be branches if they're still natural trees, and at some point you could get up into any space if they look like trees, unless again it's a Minecraft wall of block texture with green at the top.
Right? And also you have magic, so you could potentially alter the trees in some fashion in order to get up them if you didn't have any like handholds down lower.
Right.
So it would work great.
Right.
I would love that.
Julian, give me a boost, I'll pull you up.
You're tiny.
I will have a good foothold, and you're... I don't know how good of a climber you're going to be in this magical circumstance.
Let's try. I like that spirit of adventure. Let's do it.
All right, good, excellent. He hands me a fallen branch, fairly straight and sturdy. All right.
Stay close, nerd. Careful now. Slowly does it.
So at least you know about ice, I assume?
Right?
Gingerly, I step out onto the frozen surface, knowing that while people are generally afraid of ice, if the waves are frozen solid, the ice is so freaking thick and sudden, this should not be a problem. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to support the strength of the wave. It's the weight of the wave itself. Water is very heavy. To freeze a wave in place, you need a deep, heavy freeze. And unless we don't know the rules of this world and we're still assuming dreamlike, which means it could behave as ice or like jello or like air, then we might as well just trust that it's frozen all the way.
Right? Because then also if your thought pattern is that, well, you know, it might break, it's going to break. Because that's usually how dreams work.
Yes, you're going, I'm going to worry about this thing so I can produce it in my mind.
Right?
Probing ahead of me with the stick. The ice is beautifully clear, and I can see a hint of deep blue through it, where there is still liquid, and a squid scooting along through the frozenness. Blah, 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 blah. Julian and I move slowly, staying with arm's reach of each other. I stare down and realize there's myriad squids underneath us, creating a beautiful rainbow sunset-like experience, because there was all other freaking cool animals everywhere else, and why wouldn't they be under the ice, too?
No kidding.
They just have these beautiful, like, peachy, pastel, and orangey, you know, and yellow colors.
Flashing lovely little colors.
There's a little bit of, like, bioluminescent light color changes. Squids are beautiful at color changing and camouflage. It'd be lovely. Movement below me catches my eye. Is it the squids? A vast, dark shape slides languidly through the water. Far below the ice we walk on. Let's say, is it Hogwarts the squid? Yay! Hello, squid!
Hello, squid!
For some reason, never freaked out or scared anybody, and I really wanted to see horrifyingly in the movie when they were doing the lake challenge and be scared out of my wits nonetheless, and I was disappointed that they didn't show it.
But they basically removed the squid from the movies. It was so disappointing.
Though I watch it carefully, it never gets closer. Gradually it fades from view, diving to some unknown depth. We walk for what feels like hours before we reach the far shore, just as night falls. And are the trees back to normal trees now? It's a relief to set foot on solid ground again. Ice is pretty solid, just so you know.
Yes.
Ahead of us, the mountains reach for the sky, their snowy peaks lost in clouds.
I mean, if you have global, climate change, though, they're not going to be solid anymore, so please.
Well, but the waves would break. Like, when your ice starts cracking, your icicles are going to break first, your weighted stuff.
I know.
It's okay. But when I let my magic spread out again, I hesitate. I can't feel it anymore. Shoot, I forgot to check while we were on the lake, and so I lost my direction. You should always take out your compass while you're traveling. It's really important.
I was about to say, is it the creature under the ice?
It might be.
Your own personal gateway. That's weird. Let me go get my, sonic oscillator, and we'll be able to figure this out.
Dang it, I forgot to build one of those because I forgot to go to magic school to be a magical engineer, which I wanted to do before I lost my body and nearly died and got here. I'm going to go do that still, okay? And we'll build a magic oscillator, and we'll use it to find our way on the ship I'm going to build, and it'll be great.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
But it was coming from my head, right? If we just get going, we should find it sooner or later.
He forges ahead, and I follow.
It's not his path.
And up the mountainside.
Why isn't this a choice?
That should be a choice. Follow Julian, look inside yourself. Like, that's what I would do.
It must be somewhere up.
I don't think so.
Here.
He trails off as we emerge from the tree line.
Because suddenly the trees are, by the way,
a door stands by itself, surrounded by undisturbed snow. But if I'm not feeling it, is that my door?
Yeah, no, the answer's no. It looks just like the door of your shop.
Astra, you are chopped liver. It's my shop now. I know we've established this like 6 times, but I'm not putting it down. My shop.
Because in that case, that is actually pretty insult. It is his shop.
It is Astra's shop.
It is totally his shop.
It's not my shop. It's the shop that I live in with, you know, my teacher.
What if somebody went through this game and was like, I'm going to do Julian's route, and I'm going to play Astra?
Right?
And you're just like, my character's name is Astra. And everyone go, oh, it looks a lot like your shop, Astra. Astra.
Yeah,
yes.
thanks. Well, you see Astra going, okay,
This
I
is
hate to
true.
admit it, that despite the fact that I am a magician, I'm not very creative. So when Nerd woke up, I just named them Astra because it was the name I had.
Were
You
you
want to
looking?
call them Alita after your dead cat? Oh, no, don't mention that.
Let's not do that. It has to be your dead daughter.
Right.
God, that was so
I'll
irritating.
just name you Faust because it's the only name I know.
Our name is Faust.
Her name is Faust. We are the Magician's Apprentice, Faust. Hello.
Hello.
And we have a
Faust
snake
and
buddy,
Faust.
Faust. Hello. And then we are Faust and Faust walking around adorably.
It's Faust squared.
Yes!
Yay!
Faust by Faust squared. Uh-huh.
Why would you?
A brief surge of homesickness overtakes me as I approach the door and remember that Astra is also dateable, and maybe that would have been a good idea. Safer, anyway.
Maybe?
It's carved from the same wood as the door of my shop, and the air around it is warmer than our frigid surroundings. I can smell the herbs I always have hanging up to dry in the shop, because I taught myself about herbs once he taught me how to read, and he couldn't stop me from learning everything so long as I could get a hold of a book.
Yep, because that's the only way I can learn anything.
With a whiff of smoke from the stove.
Salamander.
Stove salamander. We have a stove salamander?
Didn't you remember that from the beginning? I think we were like, salamander? And you were like, what?
Yeah, but I didn't realize it was like in like our potbelly stove heating the room stove salamander.
Yeah.
That's...
Because it's your little, it's a fire salamander.
Yeah, it's your fire source.
That's super cute!
I'm suddenly picturing this beautiful, like, those cast iron potbelly stoves
Right.
that you cook on top of kind of thing, but also heat the whole room, and you need to be careful, don't touch the outside, with a beautiful, like, emberous, molten terrarium inside of it, with this little salamander running around in there.
That is so cool!
So you've had, like, somebody with fire skills or protection build them this beautiful, hot terrarium environment for them.
I want to be a magician who does herpetology. That would be so cool.
You be a herpetological magician, and I'll be a mechanical magician. And
We'll work this together. Yes.
And I will
Awesome.
help you with your environments.
Yes.
Yes.
Score.
All right. I stretch out a hand, resting it on the wood. It even feels the same, but it doesn't feel inside of me. The door swings open, and the chains whip out from inside the gateway, wrapping around my arms and legs.
See, this is the thing I'm like,
Why didn't we get to choose at that moment? Why didn't we get to pick what we were going to do?
The plot must go on!
The plot must go on! Are you going to do it?
No, nerd!
Yes, but what if it cuts us back? All right, it's fine. All right, so...
I have been Scandal, and it was lovely to have you guys here. And so if you like or appreciate our content, it would be fantastic if you would like and
Comment, subscribe, share, check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, etc. We have a Patreon. We'd love you to support us if you want more of this kind of thing. And in the meantime, I've been Lies.
And
it was
great playing with you.
Bye!